Hello guys and welcome to Day to Gate of Theories. Today I'm going to tell you why the Game of Thrones finale and the last season of Game of Thrones was actually good and not bad in the slightest.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
But before we get into that, if you are new around here and wouldn't mind clicking that subscribe button, that'd be awesome, as we are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible and every little helps. Oh, before we start this video, just a reminder, this is Game of Thrones finale, so if you haven't seen it, there will be spoilers ahead, so click off the video or go and watch the end of Game of Thrones and then watch this video. Yeah, okay, that's final spoiler, spoiler alert, you've had it. Right, let's get on with this video. But without further ado, let's get straight on with this video. Okay, so to start off with, the first reason why the Game of Thrones ending was actually really good is because the way they have left it is so open-ended that HBO can make spin-offs. Now, all four of the Starks who are left, you can make a spin-off on them. You could have Sansa, Queen of the North, a series on that. You can have Jon going back out beyond the wall, a series on that. Arya's adventures west of Westeros. That's an easy one to make a series, and they can make it expand the world so much more. And then also Bran being the king, you can have a series on him. They've left it so open-ended that they can go from any one of those characters and gives a nice spin-off series. Now we know HBO has already announced they're going to make at least one spin-off, but these other open-ended things means HBO can go back to them or create spin-offs just from there whenever they need, and especially if the fans demand it. And which of course probably will, because we love Game of Thrones and I'm actually really sad it's ended. However, the fact that it's so open-ended gives me hope that there will be some spin-offs, even if they're not any to do with them, they have left them open, so even in a future generation, a director may come and think that's where we need to go. Or the author, George R.R. Martin, may say, look, HBO, we should definitely do a spin-off on that, and it'll happen. So that has me slightly excited. The fact it's also open-ended leaves lots of theories as well. So if you're into Game of Thrones theories, then this so open-ended gives so many ideas for what could happen in the future, and it'll be awesome to see videos on that. So if you do know of any theories about that, like what's west of Westeros and all that, make sure you put it down below in the comment section. Leave a link if you want, or down below, and we want to check them out as more, because we all want to learn about Game of Thrones.
It's a beautiful dream.
The second reason I believe the ending and the finale was actually decent was because Dany didn't win in the end. Dany, like Daenerys, got absolutely slaughtered in the most brutal of ways, but I think if Daenerys had ended up on the Iron Throne and they'd like cut it there, I think it would have felt really unfinished. And also, it's so not Game of Thrones, the predictable winner. Daenerys had a 3 dragons to 0 on the other team. I mean, she did ultimately lose 2 of the dragons in the final 2 seasons, but still 1 dragon was easily going to take out Cersei's army. So the fact that she didn't win, and the fact that it came down to such a wire, and the way she was killed was Game of Thrones typical style. Obviously, in the arms of the person she loves, she gets stabbed in the heart. Difficult, but it's definitely a Game of Thrones thing. It was so predictable. I thought Dany wasn't going to end up on it, but I didn't think they were going to kill it in such a way. It was a nice fitting ending for her. But yeah, it was a good way to end it rather than having her on the throne, have someone else and see what happens. I also think the way they picked who would be on the throne after, as in Bran Stark, also shows like the subtle thing that a monarch system doesn't work, whereas democracy is more thing, and you can see that the world of Game of Thrones is going into a more democratic version than run by kings or queens. Yes, it still has a king, but now it will be elected, given a slight political message in there, which is subtle but also works really well. Going on from that, having Bran in power, which was predicted by Gwendoline Christie, who plays Brienne of Tarth, ages ago. This emerged on Twitter the other day. I saw it and it's going viral. She actually in an interview predicted Bran would be in it. It's such a Game of Thrones thing for Bran to be in it, and it was probably the right ending. We obviously had the whole story of Bran from start to finish. He had the season, and it's always been through his eyes. He's been such an important character, even though he may be a sideline character, since he fell out, obviously, of the window and then became the Three-Eyed Raven. It's always been Bran's story, subtly going through, yes, it's always been through the eyes of Bran, really. And so I think that to end it on Bran being king is very good, and also shows the story. I also think that the way it was done was so unexpected and out of field that it was just a typical Game of Thrones thing and sticking to their tropes. Finally, the most thing I've seen on Twitter is people talking about the finale is about how the story arcs have been ruined, the character arcs have been ruined in the final series. The fact that Jaime Lannister runs back to Cersei, we thought maybe when he got with Brienne that would be it, he would stick with Brienne and it'd be great. But the fact he went back to Cersei makes it even better. It's a talking point. Why do we like the show so much? It gives so much talking points. It gives us so much things to discuss and enjoy. The fact that we're discussing it and they're disappointed and showing an emotion is much better than him carrying on with a normal story arc and we're like, oh, you just end up with Brienne. The fact he goes back makes you think, why have I invested so much time into the character? Why didn't I leave him in the first season when I really hated him? The fact that we've grown to love Jaime and then hate him in the end, brilliant. It's a curveball. It's one thrown in that is such a Game of Thrones thing, is why it makes it so good. So those are the reasons why I thought the Game of Thrones finale was actually really good, and why also Game of Thrones final season was really good, and why Game of Thrones is just brilliant anyway. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button and share it on social media and see what your friends can think. Tell me in the field section or comment section below what you thought of the finale of Game of Thrones. Are you disappointed in it, or do you really like it? Some people, I think, with time will see it gets better. Others will say it's a bad ending, just like How I Met Your Mother. We've got to see. I want to hear your response down there, and in fact I'm going to put a poll, well, I can't remember which side when I'm filming, a poll in the cards up above to ask you whether you like the ending or not. There'll be a poll up above to do that. As I said at the start, if you are new here and wouldn't mind clicking that subscribe button, that'd be awesome, as we are trying to hit 10k as soon as possible, and every little helps. If you're already subscribed, make sure you have that bell button clicked as well, so then you get notified when we make new videos. I've been here on Gate of Theories. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on Tuesday with another video. Thanks for watching, guys.
No, I can't hide it. No, I can't hide it anymore.